Welcome to today's class. Today I'll introduce the new topic on remuneration. And remuneration in an organization, it is a policy that targets the process of compensating employees in an organization. So this is the payment or compensation received for the services rendered. So different employees, when they render services, there is that compensation. And this compensation can be in form of wages or it can be in form of salaries. But the key word there is payment or compensation for the services rendered or for the services that have been executed by the employee. So that total compensation comes into the same. So some of the components on the remuneration package, we have the fixed items, we have the short-term variable, then we have the deferred, we have the non-monetary, and other key elements. So the fixed ones, those are items whereby, or maybe those are compensation mechanisms, whereby the employee is compensated on his professional or the technical skills that are fully rendered. Short-term, it is just encouraging the achievement of strategic goals and other financial incentives so that we can be able to assist them very swiftly. Deferred, these are measures that are put in place by executives so that in case there is something within a period of 3 years or a period of 1 year, we can be able also to see how do we assist or maybe how do we share the welfare of the employees. And lastly, monetary benefits, non-monetary benefits. This is away from the normal monetary payments that are executed across. So some of the factors that influence remuneration, we have the external factors, and under external factors, one of them, it is the labor market. And the labor market, it means what you are paying your members of organization is always compared with what other organizations are paying their employees. Like if you are employing maybe a human resource manager, then it will be compared to what other human resource managers are earning in other organizations, so that there should not be a high disparity in the same position. Then the cost of living, that is how do we enshrine ourselves in our day-to-day expenditures, because if the cost of living is high, then automatically the mode of compensation should be commensurate to that cost of living. Number 3, it is the labor movement, that is under the trade unions, because employees form or voluntarily join trade unions so that they are able to fight for their plight in terms of their welfare. So these trade unions, in their CBS, the collective bargaining agreements they always sign with the employers, they always, in one way or another, also influence the mode of compensation for the employees in an organization. Number next, it is about the labor laws. The government, also being an employer and also a regulator, has come up with several legislations. The Wages Act, the Payment of Bonus Act, the Equal Remuneration Act, plus many other legislations, mainly to try and also govern the remuneration processes within various organizations. Next, it is the society where we coexist in, because somebody who is living in Nairobi is not similar to somebody who is maybe living in the rural areas. So the setup of the society also in one way or another can be a catalyst as to how we are going to compensate our employees. And lastly, it is the economy, meaning if the economy is performing poorly, then automatically we are going to have a compensation scheme that is well are enshrined in that economic field, because you cannot pay what you cannot afford. So those were external factors. The internal factors, the first one is the business strategy. That is how you perform your day-to-day activities, and also to what extent are you able to institute some measures within the enterprise. Because if the organization is growing, the salary will grow. If the organization is stagnant, then also payment of better salaries can be a mirage, or maybe can also be very difficult. Number next, it is performance appraisal, which we saw in our first topic, whereby we evaluate annually or maybe quarterly the performance of employees, and therefore try in one way or another to meet their demands in terms of their performance, so that when they are able to perform very well, also we are able to return the gratitude across the point. And lastly, the employee himself or herself can be a major determinant of what they are going to be paid, because if they are able to enshrine and perform their activities very well, then automatically them being given better salaries and better compensation, it is going to be quite positive across the point. To finish up, some of the small items that determine, or maybe the amount of remuneration and how it is going to be executed. Number one, it is the value of the employee in the company, because different employees join a company in different quarters and performing different activities. So we shall gauge your value like the way we've seen under performance appraisal, and be able to use your value into the organization to be able to give you your compensation, because we have full-time versus part-time, we have executive versus the entry level, plus many other initiatives. Number two, it is the type of the job you are doing. Kuna ile salaried na kuna the wages. So you will find that those who are salaried are different from those who are paid wages, and therefore the type of the job you are doing can also be the position of your engagement. And lastly, the company's business model, because some companies always try in one way or another to make sure that they give the necessary engagement or the necessary support to their employees in terms of bonuses and other key initiatives, and therefore it is going to be quite positive in instituting their day-to-day activities. So that is what I have for today on remuneration. We shall proceed from there.